Welcome to fifth lecture of analog microelectronic circuits in unit 2. We are discussing bipolar junction transistor, the three terminal device, and we looked at a bit history of BJT. We have also seen the various modes of operation and the suitable applications in each mode. Then we have seen the current equations in BJT. We wrote current equation with the help of semiconductor device physics, and then we discussed a model, a large signal model as well as a small signal model. Right. Now, in today's class, what I will do is I'll elaborate a little more on the models. Depending on the regions of operation of BJT, I'll elaborate a little bit more on the condition and models of BJT. Right. So this will definitely help us in solving DC problems. Moreover, it will also help in uh, uh, much more better understanding of the DC operation of BJT. Right. So with that, I am just starting today's class. So I would write here what we will be discussing today is the conditions and models for the operation of BJT in various modes. So the various modes what we discuss here today are the same: cutoff, active and saturation mode. So let me start with the cutoff mode. So we know that in cutoff mode the condition is, so we have two junctions, emitter based junction and collector based junction. Both are reverse biased in cutoff mode. Right. So when both are reverse biased, say if I try to draw a model for that by considering, all right, let me take a transistor here, which is your NPN transistor. So this is your NPN transistor with the three terminals: base, collector and emitter. These are the three terminals. Now as we say emitter based junction is forward biased, we are actually telling that there is a plus minus VB voltage here. And when you say collector base voltage is reverse biased, we can mark in two ways. So if I note this as N, this as P and this as N, to make collector base junction reverse bias, collector should be connected to, yeah, so your base, all right, let me mark this as VBC, right. So what I did here is there are two PN junctions and I marked the voltages as plus minus towards the PN junction. Now we know that, so depending on the value of VBC, so VBC should be such a way that if it is reverse biased, yeah, that we'll see shortly. So what I did here is there are two PN junctions, both voltages I marked it as VBC and VBE. Now this will definitely result in current. Yeah, probably these things are known to you, but I hope that for at least for a few of you there is less clarity on this. That is why I thought I'll just redo and make sure that all are comfortable. Right. So this is IB, IC and IE. Now, so since voltage is applied here, we usually define a one more voltage here as VCE, which is written as plus minus. Right. This is how for a BJT, this is how we mark the terminal voltages and the currents. Right. So you can compare this as similar to a MOSFET, but in MOSFET we will mark VGS and VDS. We generally will not apply that VGD directly, but VGD voltage is in turn coming. Right. So here it is slightly different. We will see that very now. Now in cutoff mode, we know that both junctions are reverse biased. So if you are asked to draw a model for that, so these are the three terminals. Say this is base, this is collector, base collector, and this is the emitter terminal, right? So both junctions, so emitter based junction and collector based junction, both are reverse biased. That means I can definitely say the current flowing here, all the currents are 0. So this current is 0. This is IB, this is equal to 0. Now this current IC, that is also equal to 0. Now if both are 0, then no need to actually talk about IE, right? IE is definitely 0. Right. Now now we have to tell, so since this is reverse biased, we have to understand a few things here. Let me just okay. Now for a PN junction to be forward biased, say this is a VB, right? Now typically for a PN junction to be forward biased, the VB voltage should be greater than 0.5. This is what the general voltage we have, it is observed in most of the BJTs. And we take that value typically as 0.7. That is what probably most of you have done in the numericals also. The VB should be at least more than 0.5 for a current to flow across the PN junction. And typical value what we'll take is typically we'll consider VB as 0.7. So with that, what I will say here is, since this junction is reverse biased, I will mark this as this point. I will mark it as VB less than 0.5. Right. So VB is less than 0.5 in this case. Now again, for a collector based junction to be reverse biased, so greater than or equal to 0.5, yeah, I'll assume that greater than or equal to 0.5 here. Now, so we can consider this as 0.4 or 0.5, that is fine. Let me write it as 0.4 here. Yeah, if your VB is less than 0.4, definitely the junction is reverse biased. To make the junction forward biased, there should be at least a minimum 0.5 or more than that. Typical value what we consider is 0.7. Similarly, since your collector based junction is reverse biased, there also I will write that here your VBC is actually less than 0.4. Right, your VBC is less than 0.4 in this case. So how will I mark here? This is plus minus, this is also plus minus, collector based junction. Are there any questions on this? Are there any questions? I am considering the cutoff region, both junctions and reverse biased. So I told that for a PN junction to be forward biased, generally more than 0.5, the transistor will turn on and show a little amount of current. And the typical value what we generally assume is, we generally take is 0.7. So for that reason, I marked here, since both the junctions are reverse biased, VBE and VBC both are less than 0.5. Is this clear? Any can I get some response in the chat box? Yes. All right. Okay. Now if this is clear, okay, let me proceed now. Now let me move to the next region, which is active region, where I know that emitter base junction is forward biased and collector base junction is reverse biased. This is the condition, right? Now if I write a model here, again this is base, collector and emitter. Now since emitter base junction is forward biased, we will actually replace that using, we'll replace that using Since emitter base junction is forward biased, we will replace that using a diode here in this fashion. But since it is forward biased, even I can mark this as a forward voltage across the diode. As I told, the value what we generally take is for a silicon diode, it is 0.7. So this is how I can mark this side. So if this is the case, definitely there will be some IB. I can mark IB that is greater than 0. And now what about collector base junction? Collector base junction should be reverse biased, right? Okay, now let me ask this question. You have a VB volt. Okay, now since your collector base junction is reverse bias, the condition is as same as before, as the top, right? Yeah, the same condition prevails between collector and base and collector. Your VBC voltage is actually less than 0.4 volt, right? So since IB is positive, I can always expect an IC. The value of IC can be written as beta times IB, the DC current. So the current will be flowing here, that we wrote it as IC as IS into e to the power of VB by VT, or it is as same as beta into IB, right? Now, if your base emitter junction is 0.7 and if your base collector, if it is less than 0.4, can you tell me what should be or what will be the collector emitter voltage here? So since it was off here, we did not consider, but now how can you say that for a transistor in active region, what will be VCE voltage? What should be the VC voltage? Whether my question is clear? Can I get some response? VCE. All right. Are you guys with me? Can I get some response? Okay, let me ask. Abhirami, are you there? Abhirami?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Abhirami. So, are you getting what I'm trying to do here?
Yes, sir. Almost.
Okay. So, so what I told is in active region, BJT emitter base junction is forward bias. So I represented that using the cut-in voltage or the on voltage across the PN junction with 0.4, 0.7.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also stated that for the emitter base collector base junction should be to be forward biased. Your VBC should be less than 0.4.
Okay.
Why is it so? Why VBC? Why I told that VBC should be less than 0.4?
I'm not sure, sir.
All right. Are you listening to my class?
Yes, sir. That 0. VBC less than 0.4, even in cutoff region, I don't understand.
Okay, all right. So what I told before is for a PN junction to be turned on, the minimum voltage should be equal to or greater than 0.5 VBE. When I wrote this as VBE, what I meant is the forward bias voltage across a PN junction, right? But the typical value what we take is 0.7 for a silicon diode. So what I'm telling is minimum it should be 0.5 or more, just to make sure that a PN junction is forward bias. Right. Now, the second point what I'm telling is, to make sure a PN junction to turn on, if it is 0.5, if it is less than 0.5, if it is less than 0.4, definitely the junction will be reverse biased.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is why I wrote here, a VBC if it is less than 0.4, it is reverse bias. So similar thing I have actually written here. Now the question is, what will be your VCE voltage? Now I know that VBE voltage is 0.7. and VBC is actually say 0.4 here. Now if VBC is 0.4, what will be VCB? What will be VBC, VCB, Abhirami?
0.3.
see VBC is 0.4. So what should be
Oh, I'm
VC?
sorry, minus 0.4.
Yeah, minus 0.4, right? So VB is 0.7, VCB is minus 0.4. So how will I get VCE? So VCE is nothing but VCB plus VBE, right? So it is minus 0.4 plus 0.7, which will be equal to 0.3. So your VC voltage should be or will be, your VCE should be greater than 0.3 or at least equal to 0.3. All right, thank you, Abraham. I hope you understood now, but still if
Yes,
you
sir.
have doubts, we will definitely, I'll help you. Now this is the case of
Understood.
active region, yes. Now coming to saturation region, so we know that in saturation region, what happens? Both junctions are forward biased. So I can draw a model like this. This is emitter. Sorry, this is base. This is collector, and this is emitter. Now both are forward biased, so both can be replaced using equivalent diode. So VB, emitter base junction. So emitter base junction can be replaced using this same as VB 0.7. Now if I look at, so this will definitely give some current here. Now what can we comment on this VCE voltage, VCE or VC, I will say this is VC saturation here. So since the collector base junction should be forward bias, this I can write that this VBC will be approximately or greater than 0.5, right? This will be this voltage. So in that case here, VC sat will be approximately 0.2 volt, right? So this is often expressed by yeah, since this is 0.2 voltage, we express using another DC. So this is based on the model, or this is how we generally model it. So let me write it here as emitter base junction is forward biased and collector base junction is also forward biased. Is this clear to everyone? Yeah, I'm
Sir, one
seeing the,
doubt.
yeah, 1 second, Karthik. I'm just, yeah, I'm seeing the responses. Maunav, Kirtana, Pradyumna. Yes, go ahead, Karthik. Yes.
Sir, you said that for IB to flow, VB should be greater than or equal to zero point 0.7, zero
Yes.
point 0.5, sorry, 0.5.
0.5. Yes.
And VBC should be 0.4.
Where I wrote that? No, no. Okay, come again. Go ahead with your doubt, Karthik.
For IB to flow, VB is
Hmm.
greater than or equal to 0.5.
Yes.
And VBC is greater than or equal to 0.4.
No. That is not for IV to flow.
For IC, you mean?
No, nothing like that. Okay, so if you look at this, for this junction to be forward bias, what is the minimum voltage required? It is 0.5.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Right. So if it is 0.5, it'll be forward biased.
Right.
Similarly, this junction, so this base collector junction also will be forward biased if the voltage across that is 0.5.
Okay.
Now it is less than 0.5, that will be reverse biased.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Now to make the distinction, I wrote here if VBC is less than 0.4, this represents this is a reverse bias condition.
Okay, sir.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Karthik. Yes. So why I have written this is because in most of the cases when we solve numericals, we will always take VB active as 0.7. Then another value what we take is VC saturation as 0.2. Then you will not get a doubt. Okay, why these from where these numbers has come in. So everything is depending on VB voltage. It is, even though it is typically 0.7, from 0.5 onwards we can actually see a slight current, right? Okay, so with that, what I will do is we'll solve some DC numericals and get little more familiarized with this BJT numericals. All right. Okay, so let me give this question to you now. So this is given as 10 volts. This is 4.7 kilo ohms. This is 3.3 kilo ohms. This is connected to 4 volts, and I'll mark the unknowns in red so that it will be easy for you. I see, and this is IB, right? So given that beta is equal to 100, now the question is to find the terminal, all node voltages and terminal currents. That means IC, IB, IE, and VC and VE. Okay, now yeah, let me tell you one more thing. So in as similar to in the case of MOSFET, there we assume that the transistor will be in saturation, and we'll take the saturation current equation, and then we will proceed with the DC analysis. Similarly, here what we will do is, here we will assume that transistor is in active region. Now that assumption is not like a blind assumption. I'll just look at the conditions given. So to the base you can see a 4 volt, and your emitter is grounded through a resistance 3.3. So likely VB junction will be forward biased, and you can see collector is at a higher potential compared to base. So definitely you have actually a VBC, VBC of yeah, it is approximately some value. So assume that active region, we will do the calculations and make sure that at the end of the calculations we will check whether our assumption is true or not. All right. So go ahead and find out this, and I'll call, and then we can actually discuss the questions. Yeah. So as discussed before, now if I'm assuming the transistor in active region, so we will take this VB voltage as 0.7, VB active as 0.7. So that will be the starting point for the calculations. Or if you guys want me to help out in this, I can do that. So those who are comfortable, you can try, and for others I'll explain how to go about this, right? So the first thing is base emitter junction is likely to be forward biased. So I'll consider that VB active as 0.7, and with that directly I can conclude, or I can come to the value of VE. So what will be VE? VE is this node voltage. So VB is 4. So 4 minus this 0.7 will be VE. So VE is VB minus VBE active, which is equal to 4 minus 0.7, which is 3.3 volts, right? Now since we got this as 3.3 volts, and I know the resistance here, I can find the current IE. So IE current is 3.3 volts divided by 3.3 kilo ohms. So that will result in a current of 1 milliamps, right? Now so with IE, definitely you can find IC. I think the rest of the things follows. So IC can be written as, so how IC and IE are related? I can say IC is equal to alpha into IE, and alpha can be obtained from the beta. So it is beta by beta plus 1. So you can find it as 100 by 101, right? So it will be very close to 0.9. You can take the, I think it will be 0.99. So we can take that, and from that we can find IC. IC will be 0.99 milliamps, right? So once IC is obtained, we can directly find VC. VC will be 10 minus 0.99 milliamps into 4.7 K, which is equal to I think it will be close to 5.3, right? So is this clear what I have done? Now So since I made the assumption as active region, so I know that in active region the base collector voltage will be less than 0.4, right? Now what is the base voltage? Base voltage is VB is 0.4 and sorry VB is 4 and VC is 5.3. So VBC is actually minus 0.7, which is less than 0.4. Therefore, transistor is in active region. Is this clear? Or the other way you can say base is actually P region, right, which is connected to 4, and collector voltage is 5.3. In fact, you can see that the junction is reverse biased and the transistor is in active region. So with IE and IC you can find IB also. IB is IE by beta plus 1 is IE by beta plus 1, which is 1 milliamps divided by 101, which will be equal to 0.01 milliamps. Is it clear? Any questions on that? Any questions? Monit Mohan?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Monit, are you following this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me move to another question. So this is connected to 15 volts. This is a 100 kilo resistance. This is a 5 kilo resistance. This is a 50 kilo resistance, and this is a 3 kilo resistance. Consider beta is 100. The question is to find voltages at all nodes and current through all branches. Right. So yeah, you can try this. So meanwhile, if you have doubts, you can ask. We can. All right. Laksh, your question is why is VB 0.7, why not 0.8? Okay. Laksh, can you unmute?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so typically for a silicon transistor, we consider the base emitter base junction as 0.7. So 0.7 is fine. 0.8 definitely for 0.8 the transistor is on. So why I ask you to unmute is like what was the why did you get that doubt? Why it should be 0.7 or 0.8?
So in the calculation, it was not given that VB is 0.8, yet we took VB is 0.8.
Where in the previous calculation?
Yes, first
This one.
active region VBE active is 0.5, 0.7 volts.
Yes.
It was not given in the question, right?
Yeah, yeah, very good. Yeah, so it is not given the question. So now when a circuit is given, we should start, right? We have to solve it. Now how we will solve is a question. Now maybe you can mute Laksh. So now the transistor, by the biasing, transistor should be in one of the regions. It should be either in cutoff, it should be saturation, or in active region. Now what I did is, before assuming VB active as 0.7, what I did is I just checked the base voltage. Base is connected to 4, right? Now emitter is connected to ground through a resistance of 3.3. So I assumed that transistor is in active region because there is a possibility for transistor to be inactive by looking at the base connection. So I assume the transistor is an active region, and since transistor is an active, I have taken the active VB voltage as 0.7 from my previous discussion, from the discussion what I did here. If it is forward, it should be more than 0.5, and typical value what we take is 0.7. Right, so that was the starting point of this. I have taken it as 0.7, and then I started with the calculation. But at the end, I assume whatever assumption I made, I am proving that the transistor is in active region. Is that clear, Laksh?
Yes, sir, clear, sir.
Okay, all right, yeah. So yeah, you guys, now you can try this question. All right, so can I get some answers? Okay. Nandita, your question is IB 9.90 microamps. Okay, did I make a mistake there? Nandita, can you tell me why is it so? Nandita?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 1 micro by 101, I'm getting it as
1
9.90
micro.
micro.
It is not 1 micro, it is 1 milli. IE is 1 milli, right?
Yes, sir, got it.
Yeah. So yes, IB can be written as Praveen, IB is 20 amps. I think
20 microamps, sir.
all right. Okay, okay. Yeah. 20 microamps. So
Yes,
1
sir.
milli by 101, right?
No, sir, not this question, sir.
Oh, the next question. Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Kirtana, your response is for which are we assuming IB to be negligible? Oh, current question. Okay, okay, all right. No. We cannot take. We cannot just like that neglect IB because we know that transistor. We have to calculate and see. IB will be very small compared to the magnitude of other. IB will be small. Yes, that is there. All right. Okay. So let me mark the terminal currents here. So this will be IC, this is IB, and this is IE. Right. This is how we generally mark. Okay. I'll give you 2 more minutes. You guys can try it. Otherwise, I'll help you to solve. Yeah, please put your answers here so that we'll see. Yeah, I'm reading your answers. VB is 5, VE is 4.3, and VC is 7.9. All right. I think you need to check Manikandan. Yes, Praveen. Yeah, that calculation is, yeah, that is right. IE is 1.43 milliamps. Can you recheck that? Okay, all right. So I'll VC 7.9. Okay, yeah. Please post your answers. Then I'll be helping you how to solve this now. So there is one main difference between how we solve a question for MOSFET when you have a voltage divider biasing, and how we solve a question when the active device is BJT. The difference is here. Say for the same question, we have solved a similar question in the case of MOSFET. We solved a question with the same numerical. So there we can, in fact, we can directly write what is the voltage coming at the gate. We can directly say what is the voltage coming at the gate. Why? Because say if this is connected to VCC, and if we know this as R1 and R2, since this current, this gate current is equal to 0, I can directly write what is the voltage here. The voltage here will be VCC into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. I can directly write that just by a voltage division there, because the current here is actually 0. But now you have a finite current in the case of BJT, and we cannot directly say that this voltage is 15 into 50k divided by 100 plus 50. Why? Because whenever I do that calculation, this is my the sort of calculation what I have done for MOSFET. I am just writing that again. This is VCC, this is R1, this is R2. And if I want to find this voltage as say some Vx, so how will I write this this voltage? I'll assume a current here, right? Now, since there is no current to this branch, the same current will flow through this R2 also, right? So what I can write here, I can write VCC is equal to I into R1 plus I into R2, or I can write VCC divided by R1 plus R2 as I. That I is the current flowing through R2. So if you want to write Vx, I can write Vx as that I into R2. That is what we always write as VCC into R2 by R1 plus R2. I hope this is clear for you guys. And this holds valid when you have a MOSFET, because there is no current here. But now if I apply the similar thing here, that becomes wrong. Why? Because say if there is some current flowing here I1, now the current flowing through this resistance is not I1, it is I1 minus IB, right? Because IB is the current flowing towards this side, so I1 minus IB. So I cannot directly write in this form. So what I should do in such cases, we have to actually apply, or we have to simplify this part. Which part? We have to simplify this part of the circuit, and for that what we can do is actually we can apply Thevenin's theorem. I hope you would have studied Thevenin's theorem by this time in your network analysis course. So how will you apply Thevenin's theorem? So we know that if there are for voltage source, if there are a lot of resistive components in a circuit, we can actually transform that using Thevenin's theorem with an equivalent Thevenin voltage and a resistance component, right? So how will you find the equivalent Thevenin voltage VTH? So equivalent Thevenin voltage is obtained using the same way. This is 15 into this 50k divided by 100k plus 50k. That is how we find VTH. And to find RTH, what we will do is we'll actually take the parallel combination of these two, which is 100k into 50k divided by 100k plus 50k. Right. So the base part or the input side of this or the base side will be transformed using Thevenin's theorem. So and when I say it is transformed using Thevenin's theorem, I will find the equivalent Thevenin voltage and equivalent Thevenin resistance, and then I will redraw the circuit. So how will I redraw the circuit? Now I have a Thevenin voltage VTH and a resistance here which is RTH. Then the rest of the circuit I will draw here. So here there is one resistance which is 3k. Here there is another resistance which is equal to 5k, and this is your 15 volts supply. Right. Now I can easily find what is my IB, what is IC, what is IE, and also I can find this as the base voltage, this as collector voltage, and this as emitter voltage. Right. So can you tell me what is your VTH value here? VTH. Yes, I saw your answers. Can some of you help me in finding VTH? What is VTH?
So VTH will come as 5 volts and RTH will come as 33.33.
All right, 33.33k. Right. So with that, let me redraw the circuit. 5 volts is the voltage here, and the resistance here is 33.3k. Then we have the BJT here connected to one resistance here, connected to another resistance here on the top, where these potentials we need to find. And if you look at so this is connected to 15 volt, where this is 100 kilo resistance, and sorry, what is the resistance value? 5k, right? Yes, it is 5k, and this is 3k. Right. Now you can start solving. So how will you solve now? To solve this, what we will do is, again we'll assume that the transistor is in active region. If transistor is in active region, what we can say is this VB active is 0.7, right? Now I can write an equation here. So what will be that equation? I'll write KVL here, 5, so minus plus 5, then current is flowing in this direction, minus IB into 33.3k plus minus 0.7 minus the current flowing here is IE, right? So minus IE into 3k is equal to 0. Now if you look at this expression, there are two unknowns, IB and IE, but we know how to replace IE in terms of IB. So IB into 33.3k minus 0.7 minus beta plus 1. Beta is 100. So 101 into IB into 3k is equal to 0. That will give you the value of IB. Right. So what is the value of IB? If you calculate this, what is the value of IB? Any answers? Okay, so IB will be equal to 5 minus 0.7 divided by 33.3k plus 101 into 3k. Right. So can you calculate and tell me what is this value? 5 minus 0.7 divided by 33.3k plus 101. It is into 101 into 3k. 12.8 micro. All right, it is 12.8 microamps. That is IB. So once IB is known, you can find IE. IE will be beta plus 1, right? Yes. So it will be somewhere around 12 milliamps. No, sorry, 1 million. 1.12 milliamps. Your IE will be 1.28 milliamps. Similarly, you can find what is your IC also. Yeah, I'm seeing the answers of others. Yes, I think there are slight difference in the calculations. Can you recheck and ask me if there is a doubt? Okay, now you can find IC. IC is alpha IE. Alpha can be obtained from beta, and if you do that calculation, yeah, since beta is 100, alpha is 0.99, 0.99 into 1.28 milliamps is slightly lesser than 1.28. I think you are getting IE as 1.29, right? Yeah, I think this is 1.29, and the other value is 1.28 milliamps. Right. Yeah, this is directly because IB and IC are related by beta divided by 100. So that is the value. Now with that you can find the voltage as VB. Now how will you write, sorry, how will you write the voltage VB? So what is VB voltage? VB voltage is 5 minus current through 33.3K is 12.8 micro into 33.3K. That is VB voltage. Now what is VC voltage? VC voltage is 15 volts minus IC is 1.28 milli into 5K. That is VC, and VE is yeah, once VB is there, you can write VB minus VBE in that way, or you can write IE into 3K. In either way, you can find the voltages. So if you do that, you will get your VC close to 8.6, your VB close to 4.57, and your VE .87. Can you cross check and tell me if there is any difference? Yes, 12.7 micro. All right, 12.7 and 12.8 is all right. Okay, so this is how you solve DC problems on BJT. Right. So in today's class, we'll just wind up here, and we'll continue in tomorrow's class. Few more DC numericals followed by what I told as base width modulation, and then we will come back to small signal models, and then we will solve the small signal amplifiers. Like whatever we have done for MOSFET, in a similar way, we'll perform for amplifiers, BJT based amplifiers. So thank you for joining today's class. I'll be winding up now.